Hey everybody, welcome to FF Uncensored.
All right. Before we get into today, we're going to talk about shoes, like everyday shoes. We did another episode on shoes a couple weeks ago. Actually, I think we've done 2 episodes on shoes. Kind of all started with this like high heel stuff. But before we get into that, I want to talk about one thing about like making life easier. Eating. How to make life easier. Eat these things. They're
No one
awesome.
likes those.
They're good. I had a buddy that like is like only does tuna. I'm like, man, you got to try the sardines. Once you get past the look, like because they're fish, like they're actual fish. And once you get past the look, like solid. But here, let me just read the profile on these guys right here. So so one good thing about these is they are in extra virgin olive oil rather than being in like water or sometimes garbage oils, which is kind of nice. So I get a little monounsaturated fats, but one serving drained. So that would mean probably like without as much fat on it. We've got 18 grams of protein.
How many servings are in the container?
One.
Okay.
One, and then there's 11 grams of fat. 3 of those grams coming from saturated. So does it tell me how many grams?
But let's talk about sardines and a nutritional profile though too. Besides me telling you guys that they're gross, they're actually one of the most nutritionally dense foods that you can.
Camera, come on.
It is a super nutritionally dense food. So there's
Yeah.
lots of vitamins and minerals in them, along with looking at the size of the portion for container and the amount of proteins in them. They're like super legit. You do have to get over the head. I think they're weird and they freak me out, but they are really, really, really good for you.
And these ones, so looking at these ones, they are 18 grams of protein, and then they have 18, it says averages, 1,800 milligrams of EPA and DHA. So that'd be like taking like 3 fish oil kind of pills.
Honestly, I have worked with nutrition clients that do those every day instead of taking fish oil.
And if you have a dog, I don't think these have heads on them. And if you have a dog, you can pour the olive oil over their dog food as well, and they get some of those good fats on their dog.
Yeah,
food.
and Trevor now knows this because he's the proud owner of a dog.
I got a dog. Well, I didn't technically get a dog. It is Asher's dog. I am like just a resident unpaid. Actually, it's even worse than being unpaid because I have to pay for it. Caretaker.
Yep.
So
the joys of having children.
We did. So we got a dog. His name is Hero. He's pretty cool. He's a lab terrier, and I think he has a little like pit bull in him too. But we don't like to talk about the pit bull because that like sometimes like freaks people out. But he's super, super mild mannered, like loves new people, doesn't bark a ton, will fetch already and bring it back, which is really nice, and not like run around like a maniac and make you chase him to catch it. So it's actually like enjoyable to play fetch with him. He's already coming back after we call him. So he's not like if we put him off the leash, he doesn't like just run crazy wild. Our variables right now, we really haven't met any other dogs yet. So we don't know what his mannerisms or how he's going to react to other dogs. And so we'll hopefully do that this week is start introducing him to some dogs, at least to see what his reaction is. And like, do I need to have him on a leash? And like, does he try to like murder other dogs, or is he going to be a nice, like, is he going to be someone that other dogs want to be friends with? Maybe he's going to be the friendly guy. I don't know. So yeah, so we got a dog. So any and all dog tips, tricks, and shall be sent to me. So
well, welcome to dog ownership.
All right, let's talk some shoes stuff. So last week we talked more about like dress shoes, which typically
no. This was like 2 weeks ago. We're a couple weeks past, but so we talked about dress shoes and like why high heels and elevated heel shoes for men can be problematic. We talked about some good quality training shoes and like why we would pick different styles of training shoes. And today we're going to talk about like everyday wear type of shoes. Since it's still summer, like we have many more months of summer down here. Why don't we talk about summer shoes? All right. So Trevor actually has sandals on today. So, we, of course, I would say like flip-flops and sandals are 2 of the primary summer shoes. What is your shoe thought there?
Yeah. So, I mean, if I'm coaching, I am either in my socks, like walk around my socks a lot, or I wear my Withins, which is like an Amazon brand. You get them on Amazon, not an Amazon brand, but you get them on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. They're basically just like a small piece of rubber on the bottom of your foot. And so they can work pretty well. I use those if I'm not coaching. I'm in sandals a lot, especially if I already had a workout that day. And then I'll walk around barefoot or in my socks. But I'm not a huge fan of like thong sandals, just because it kind of forces a different foot action, because you kind of have to keep the sandal on your foot a little bit. So all of my sandals are like open toe type of sandals. But
these shoes are on sale for $41.
no, I mean, they're like really cheap, like they're really inexpensive. So it's like an easy, just knock around. And they're not, I mean,
they're actually pretty nice looking, like a pretty nice looking shoe.
right. It boggles me that as shoes have less material, they cost more. And that just really, like, you know, like a lot of like the barefoot shoes have very minimal amounts of material, but they're like $200. And I'm like, whoa, well, there's like, well, how is this costing more? There's less stuff.
Okay, so I will say I am a big fan of the Vivo barefoot shoes. I wear them a lot at the gym. They are one of those shoes that Trevor would tell you is very expensive for a less material shoe. I will also say a lot of them are made from recycled materials, but like it's like the rock in the hard place. I like that.
So you can virtue signal that you are trying to save the world by wearing.
Well, I mean, like there's a power to that. They also recycle, like you can actually send your old Vivos back and they will recycle them to use them to make new shoes, which I think is kind of cool. And I am in a world of like, we have a lot of waste and where are our limitations on waste. So like, that's fine. My go-to kick around shoe is probably going to be these. This is a Feel Ground. These are not cheap shoes either. I love them. They are super comfortable. They are neutral. They are a barefoot shoe. I do wear them to coach clients. This is going to be the most comparable to, how about the name brand shoe? A pair of Nike Dunks. They're going to be similar, but look at the size of the toe box and the comparison of the two. They're going to fit a lot differently. You're going to have a little bit more room. You're going to have a little bit more space for your feet display. My clients, my child clients ask me why I wear knockoff Dunks, and I have to remind them that these cost more than any pair of Dunks they wear. And the ones I'm wearing are custom, and these were still more expensive. So there is a price for a fancier style sneaker that is more minimalist, but these are great. I've had them for years. And because I just feel like with a more minimalist shoe, even if you're spending more money, your wear and tear in them is significantly longer, because they don't have, like when the cushioning wears out in a lot of your other shoes, you're done with the shoe. There's not a ton of cushioning in the shoe that's going to wear out. It literally feels exactly the same as it did the first day I put it on.
Yeah, and you can just replace the insoles, and like you have a brand new shoe essentially. And so I also have a pair of the Feel Grounds. I have a canvas pair, so it's not leather, it's a kind of a canvas top. But the biggest thing that Ashley showed you and what we're trying to look for in shoes is that wider toe box. Like that's a term that you want to try and look for, because you'll notice with the Nikes, they come to a little bit more of like a point, right? And it's kind of a style thing. There's no really function behind this, right? It's just kind of like the style of coming to that point. But if you think about how the anatomy of your foot is, right? Unless you're one of those goofy people that has like a longer second toe than a big toe, most people it's like big to small, right? And so you're actually, the furthest is on the inside, and then it kind of tapers off from there. And then you have like, are you a goofy person? Do you have that second toe that's longer than your big toe?
No, I was not royalty in a past life.
Right. So,
or lineage of royalty or whatever it is.
But so when you come back, bring the Nikes back up with your Feel Grounds, and let's just look at the bottoms again. Control the bottoms, because I think that's a better. Move over a little bit. There you go. All right, so you can clearly see, right, the difference between those two. So the Feel Grounds, I think it's on your left, but they're the ones with the circle bottoms, right? You can look at the highest point is right where that big toe is, right? So right where your big toe is the highest point, and it kind of stays high there, and it kind of accommodates for those people with the long second toe, and then it starts to trail off from there, right? Versus the other ones are, so that's actually a pretty good example, right? Like the Nikes, the highest point is actually in the middle of the Feel Grounds. So just some things to think about, right? It's really about just like supporting the anatomy of the foot, and not like, our body's really adaptable, right? So we can jam our foot into these pointed shoes, and our foot will fit, and it'll actually start to adapt, and the toes will start to curl underneath, and we'll start to get these really cool things called bunions that form. And like all this fun stuff will happen to our foot because we wanted to put it in this fancy shoe.
And you know what's so funny? I've had 2 clients have bunion surgery this year.
Did you ask them what type of footwear they wear on a regular basis?
It is 100% a footwear issue.
Right.
Like we're talking about women that like one of them had like an executive style job, and another one was a teacher. So shoes that were like dress appropriate for working in a school. So like it is super common to have that.
And
a lot of these,
and to be
but a lot of
and to be
go ahead.
fair, right? The shoe industry is not doing anyone any favors, especially women's shoes who want a dressier pair of shoes or something with a little bit of class to it.
I will say that this is definitely changing in the last handful of years. You're finding more brands provide a better style shoe for women. I think also the thing that is kind of funny that's helped, Birkenstocks came back. Some of those shoes that had wider toe boxes have come back into style. So you're seeing more of that. Like a Doc Marten, they have a pretty wide toe base.
Doc Martens are back?
Yeah, I mean, well, they came back a couple years ago. I definitely have a pair, but like shoes like that that have bigger toe boxes have actually come back in style, and even like the clog, like the slide-on clog, has come back into style too. So like those are ones that are just have been made with a wider toe box. And those are all ones that like I own every single shoe I just brought up. I own every one. I do love my Birkenstocks for a sandal. I am a slide person. I don't particularly love a flip flop because I don't like having my toe jammed in there. I also wear socks to the gym, and I have socks on a lot of times. Not that I wear socks all the time, but I like that if I have socks on, I can slide on my sandals.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mule, I have a pair of Rothy's mules, which are really, really nice. Those are the back is open and you can just slide your foot on, but you're going to have a wide toe box in that as well. And these are cute, stylish shoes. Like they are in style. You can wear them. They are going to look good. But I think the other thing that's really cool is shoes like this to wear with a summer dress or wear with a summer skirt. This is in style right now too, and you can look really cute, and you can just wear a pair of sneakers.
And for the dudes out there, you can actually get some boots too. Like I have a pair of Lems. Lems is a really cool brand. I like a lot of their stuff. I have their hiking boot, which is like I don't know if it's like a genuine leather or whatever, but it's essentially waterproof. Right, it's really malleable, flexible. It's got a bigger sole on it, but I use it to work. Right, so I use it if I'm, jumping in and out of the skid steer or out in the mud, or if I go on hikes. Or I mean, I took them on a 17-mile hike, and I've worn them just like doing landscaping too. And so they're a really comfortable shoe, big wide toe box, but they're a boot, so they go up higher than my ankles. Right, you can cinch them real tight. And so,
Vivo Barefoot has Vivo Barefoot has those too, in men's and in women's. Like actual like
stuff, to me, their stuff is like a little stylish. They have like I don't know what's it called. What's the style of boot that's really popular for guys? It's just kind of got like a little bit of elasticity. It's like a boot, but you don't like actually tie it all the way up. It's got a little elasticity on the
like a Chelsea boot.
Chelsea boot, yeah. I feel like they have some of that stuff too. But
yeah. So there are tons of options. Like there's tons of options and tons of brands. So if you guys are looking and you're looking for something specific, or you have questions about any of the brands that we have brought up, please feel free to ask. Trevor, any parting thoughts on casual shoes for everyday wear that help support healthy feet?
No, I think those are good. And so just like recap some of the brands, right, for someone listening. Thins is a Amazon, like if you want a cheap shoe, that's your way to go. Grounds is an interesting one. I have a pair of those. Aaron has a pair of those. That's what you have. They've seemed to kind of make a little bit of a splash. Xero is one, spelled with an X, Xero. They're probably one of the first ones actually that started this. They have the basketball shoe, which I think I'm going to get this next year. You already have them. We have Lems, which is going to have some like outdoor hiking type stuff. So more of a hiking boot, a hiking shoe. They also have some running stuff and some casuals. I've had their primals before, which I really enjoyed. And I have their boots. Vivo Barefoots are another one. More of like a higher end type brand. Really good quality, solid stuff.
Well, here, I bought 2 pair of Vivos when I worked at FF in Minnesota. I still have and wear both pairs today.
Right. So
we're talking about 7 years old.
You get what you pay for, right? Like, and this is like anything in life, right? Typically, stuff that's more expensive is of higher quality. Typically. And so the Amazon shoes probably aren't going to last as long, but again, they're $40. So,
if you're someone, no, I think you got them all. I feel like if you are someone that is looking to introduce a minimalist shoe or try something like this out, the Withins on Amazon could be a really good starting place. And I think that's the thing with getting started on something or making transitions to new stuff. $40 to wear a shoe that you're probably going to start and only going to be wearing them for a couple hours at a time until you can build up some of the resistance, I think is completely reasonable. So
and here's the thing. If you have kids too, look for kids shoes. I mean, we see this all the time. Kids just aren't, and I work on this with our kids and I'm not very successful with it, but trying to get kids to be barefoot, it's huge because their bones are changing, right? And so it's a lot easier to change a kid's foot than it is to change an adult's foot, because a kid's foot is growing and changing and modulating. And so we want to be exposing that foot to lots of different stimuluses. And the best, easiest way is like get outside barefoot, run around in grass barefoot, jump, do that kind of stuff. And so do that, but then also see if you can find shoes that have wider toe boxes. We've searched around a bunch and we found a couple different ones. We've tried a bunch of different ones and they're starting to become more popular. Out there, PLAE they kind of specialize in kids shoes. That works really well. But again, same thing. If you're jamming kids' feet in shoes very quickly, they're going to change. And so, but the cool thing is they can quickly change in either direction, right? So if your kids are typically in really terrible shoes, right? Getting them out of shoes for time during the day, encouraging them to be barefoot, encouraging them to run around without shoes on, don't have shoes on in the house, right? Things like that can go a long ways in just making sure that we're helping kids grow up with really good feet, because it is really important.
The base of building for all capabilities for kids.
That's what we got. If you found a brand that we didn't talk about that you're like, this is super awesome, let us know. Always on the lookout for new stuff. And Ashley will probably buy them because she buys way more shoes than I do.
I am a shoe person.
Until next time.
Later,
See
guys.
you later.